Good morning, everyone. Suddenly, the temperature of the Earth where we live is getting higher and higher in recent years. One example of familiarity is that cherry blossoms are blooming year by year. This is mainly due to the excessive increase in greenhouse gases such as carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Until now, greenhouse gases have been kept moderately in the atmosphere. However, in recent years, a large amount of greenhouse gas is released into the atmosphere by human activity. As a result, the temperature of the Earth rises and the balance of nature is lost. This is called global warming. Global warming will have various effects on our life as it is. So this time I would like to talk about three main ideas about global warming. First of all, it is about the problems that will occur as global warming progresses. The second is about the problem to be solved in order not to accelerate global warming. And the third is what we should do now to solve. First of all, we will talk about the problem that global warming will cause. The first is damage due to temperature rise. Water temperature rise due to global warming. This causes the phenomenon that ice of the Earth, such as glaciers and Antarctic ice, begins to melt and the surface of the sea rises. There are also dates that the world water level rose by about 15 centimeters, in fact in about 100 years. If we do not solve the problem of global warming as it is, the sea level rise will continue in the future. It is said that the sea level will rise by about 88 centimeters in the next 100 years. This sea level rise is expected to cause the South Pacific island country to be exposed to major damage. And it is also an island country. Japan is no exception. As the sea level rises, the place where people live is reduced. As land becomes fewer, it also adversely affects intake of natural resources and cultivation of agricultural crops. It is expected that the shortage of food and resources will occur. Also, damage caused by temperature rise is not just sea level rise. As global warming progresses future, it is expected that many animals will be reduced or extinct due to fear of illness or death from heat waves and environmental changes. The second is damage due to abnormal weather. Due to the effects of global warming, The amount of water in concentrated heavy rain will increase and there is a possibility of causing flooding. Also, the scale of typhoons and hurricanes is larger than before. It is thought that there is a possibility of damaging the life and the nature environment by it. Also, it will be burdensome to the human body if a hot summer continues. It is expected that the incidence of many diseases such as heart stroke in summer will rise and heat damage will increase. Furthermore, diseases such as malaria, which are thought to occur only in hot areas at the present time, also occur and there is a possibility that malaria may also occur in Japan. The last is about economic damage caused by global warming. There is a close relationship between the natural environment and the economy. If global warming progresses as it is, it may damage the world economy as well. If collapse of buildings and cultivation of agricultural crops decreases due to abnormal weather and temperature rise, it will of course be an economic crisis. Economic damage actually relieves by abnormal weather in about 40 years from the 1950s to the 1990s has risen from about $4 billion per year to about $40 billion per year. Also, if the natural environment is disturbed by global warming, the unemployment rate in the world will increase and poverty will be promoted. Global warming is expected to cause so much damage. So, in order not to accelerate global warming, next we will talk about what kind of problem should be solved now. In order not to accelerate global warming, we will stop using the flaring gas, which causes the destruction of the ozone layer. Also, there is a reduction in the amount of electricity used. What is considered to be the most important for not accelerating global warming is reduction carbon dioxide emissions. Japan, that I live in, is the country with the fourth largest carbon dioxide emissions in the world. Carbon dioxide is not only discharged when humans breathe. It is emitted into the air in various scenes of our usual living. Finally, I would like to talk about familiar case that we can do to reduce carbon dioxide emissions. Let's start using the air conditioner first. I put on clothes a little more when one is cold. Also, you can paste insulation material over the window to reduce the movement of heat and keep the temperature inside the room. It is also good to use refrigerator and air conditioners that are increasing recently. Working with good power, carbon dioxide that accelerates global warming is also emitted from automobiles. So when you move, let's use foot or public transport as much as possible. You can also reduce carbon dioxide emissions by making minor efforts when driving a car. For example, when starting a car, do not accelerate rapidly, start slowly. There are ingenuity such as trying not to idling as much as possible. This kind of operation is also friendly to the environment as well as to the wallet, as it will also reduce the consumption of gasoline. Besides, I will bring an eco bag when shopping. Reduce the time to watch TV. Let's start in the same room as my family. In order not to generate flare gas, ask manufacturers properly without illegally discarding home appliances. We value paper resources to absorb carbon dioxide that has been generated and save deforestation. There are many global warming countermeasures that we can usually do. From now on, if one of us will practice even one of these, the future will change dramatically in the future. That concludes the main story. I will summarize the story of this time in two. The problem is that damage due to temperature rise and climate change is very big. On the other hand, it became clear that it was important for each of us to make effort little by little to reduce carbon dioxide and reduce the amount of electricity used. I thought of a few things about the problem of global warming. One is that we have to settle because we are the ones that causes global warming. Secondly, although we could slow down global warming, we cannot stop it. So I thought have to adapt to it will be a future task. I am glad if you got interested in global warming at all in my story. That concluded my story. Thank you for listening.